Hello people, it is Taz101 Saga back again. Feels weird to even say those words, it's been many months, but here I am. I've just realised recently I hadn't actually done a video since I went randomly clay shooting a few months back. I only have a limited window now which I can really do videos, but I thought I'll try and pump some out around Christmas. Shout out to Josh Sapsford, thanks for this, very much mate. Now I know it may be considered a bit of heresy to film a British gun on the German Zeltbahn, so I'm just going to fix that real quick. There you go. Doesn't get more German than that, does it? Now let's get on with the video. This is also not a review, it's a first impressions. I haven't actually skirmished it yet, or anything, I've only had it a couple of days, but I've teched a couple of these in the past, I've worked on a couple of these, MkIIs, this is a MkII, as you can see. So we'll have a little look at it. This is the sort of the classic version. Come with 2 mags, because Josh is nice like that. Box is pretty standard, but you get to assemble it. So you've got the manuals, the usual old stuff. There's the mag, and something I forgot to put in there. This is the speed loader for the mags. It's pretty cool actually. So it goes that way. You just fill it with beeps, and then you got this this plunger which lines up with the little D10 there, and goes straight down in your magazine. So you just sort of put it like this. Pretty cool. It works very well actually. I mean, it doesn't hold the full capacity, you have to do it a couple times, but yeah, other than that it's really great. And this is an early war Sten, so this handle is in fact correct. There's a few different cocking handles depending on who made it and where and at what time. You got the stock here with an original sling on it. Just Josh does it all right, so you just yank that out, stick that on the back just like the real thing. I'll do an actual tear down a little bit, and then you've got your mag well which rotates from the storage position to the side and it locks in there, and there you are. Right, so first impressions of the MkII specifically, which is the all metal one. It's the first time I'd handled a MkII as I mentioned, so this is kind of the classic original Sten. You've got that very uncomfortable sort of T-stock as it's known, depending on where it was made, like the long branch ones, they'll have a skeleton one which is a bit more ergonomic, should we say, and then you got a pistol grip version. You get a suppressor at the front, you get the MkIV with the pistol grip, the wooden stock, the pistol grip at the front, wooden as well, which was used by the airborne famously in World War II of course. But this is the most common version you'll find. First impressions of this, I mean, wow, it's absolutely solid construction. For someone who's played with, you know, no shortage of guns from all eras, I've got to say, this is probably about as close to the real version I've ever seen a gas blowback airsoft gun. I think Josh said that on the day I saw it. I agree mate, it really is very close. Being that it's a early one as well, you can't push the cocking handle through to the safety, so that's the first thing that isn't great. You've just got this classic safety knot like that. And something I do also love that I noticed straight away is, especially when you're in a quiet room with a little bit of echo, it's got a very rustly spring sound to it, just like the original. You'll know that if you've ever dry fired an original, that you hear the spring bzzing, sort of when it goes, and you hear that when you're firing it as well, which is very cool. I'll just take the mag out for a minute because I don't want to drop it on an empty. But the controls are just like the real thing. It's awesome. So you've got the, it's a true open bolt. It's a true open bolt, so like the real one. You're going to pull the trigger, it's going to chamber it round into the hop unit, boom, there you go. So functionality wise, it's just like the real thing.
Ready.
That's mad, isn't it?
So the system that stops the mag on this is literally just the follower. So it doesn't go in all the way into the chamber when you fire it like the real one. It'll stop there. Oh, hang on, this is the mag that's got the dry fire mode on. But normally it'd stop about there. Because this is the early one that doesn't have the push-through cocking handle into the receiver to make it safe, you are going to have to use the safety notch up here. Reason being, if you just knock this even just a little bit, it's going to fire, because there's no mechanism to keep it locked up the front. Obviously this is empty because I've got the dry fire mode on, so you can see that. But yeah, it's not really safe to carry like that, so that's something I'll have to consider. If you've got the push-through one, like the MkII, the bigger cocking handle that actually goes through, you'll know straight away because there'll be a little hole there in the receiver. So yeah, so that's the only thing that immediately is like, you've got to be a little bit careful. Banging it on the butt as well will make it fire. Anything that's enough to sort of send the bolt back just a little, because the bolt, I've noticed there is a valve knocker in here which literally just hits this little plate in the magazine which pushes the exhaust valve. So it's literally like a physical, just an impact that sets it off, much like the real thing. I mean, because the real thing doesn't even have a separate firing pin, it's just got a firing pin machined into the bolt face. This gun's known for being, you know, about as simple as it gets. Some variants had like a total of 47 parts, so it's about as small as the parts number gets. But the actual construction is amazing. You got your fire selector, obviously. Push it through to the left, you get auto, and then you got R for repetition or single shot, whatever you push it through to the right. So as simple as it is, you do get select fire, which a lot of World War II open bolt sub guns do not have. So that was still cool to see. The field strip as well was really awesome. That's probably like the last main thing I'll talk about for now, because I haven't, like I say, I haven't skirmished it, so I can't talk about any of that yet. But I really did want to show it off because it's very, very nice, to be honest. So the disassembly, if you know how to strip a real one, you'll know exactly how to do this. Push down on there, that comes off, and then you got this little rotating sort of cap. This is a 2-piece there. Turn that, pull out your return spring. Now, like a few other designs, you got to pull the cocking handle to a little gap there so it could come out. When the spring's in, if you pull it really hard in that spot, it will come out because it's not held in by the spring at all. But yeah, don't do that generally. Then you just pull the bolt out, which is wonderful. It's even got the fake extractor, and you don't really see the airsoft stuff unless you notice that. But even then, not much of it sticking out. Yeah, that's really cool. I do like that. It's not too heavy of a bolt either, which is good. Because if it was the weight of the real bolts, the efficiency would probably be a bit pants until they came out with CO2, which apparently they are planning to. All you can do now is rotate the mag well. You don't have to do this, but it stops the horrific sound that this thing will produce if you try and unscrew the barrel shroud without doing that. So you just start undoing the shroud. This is absolutely great for reenactors. That's another thing that stood out to me, because it just strips like the real one. And then you can basically do the infamous sort of portable Sten package like this. With you wouldn't disassemble this part, obviously, if you wanted to just put it into storage. All you'd have to do is take the butt off, and then take the barrel and the shroud off, and then you could carry it in like a small leg bag, like a lot of resistance groups did. You can get it so compact, you can just sort of hide it somewhere, and if you've got a big coat on or baggy pants or something, it's probably not going to stand out too much. Anyway, about the guys who assassinated Reinhard Heydrich, obviously there was a infamous jamming Sten where they were sort of hiding it, assembled it last minute and tried to shoot the guy, and it didn't go well. Obviously they got him with the bomb, but I just watched that movie last night actually, Anthropoid, very good film, but there's a lot of good Sten clips, and that actually just sort of shows how you can compact it down to a sort of a length about that long, which is, it's quite a lot of firepower for something so small, especially back then. Hop-up's sort of just a little dial there. I'm quite excited to sort of try this out. I'm not expecting it to break any records in the performance sector, obviously. From what I remember, they are bringing out CO2. I was having a chat with somebody, and they're going to bring out CO2 stuff for this, because there is a new 2024 version of this supposedly coming out, which is going to fix those issues, and they should be, I think he said it's going to be like almost compatible entirely with any previous version. I'm doing this from a very awkward angle, so apologies for that. That just goes right back in, and your recoil spring, and you got your little cap. And your stock. There you go. Just do a function check. And you're back in action. Grab your mag. So, again, thank you very much, Josh Sapsford. You've always got the coolest toys at the nicest prices on the planet. It's an absolute steal, along with this guy, which is great fun to shoot as well. Thanks, mate. A good airsoft Luger, because it's not made by WE. Who would have thought? I'm going to pump out a vid on my World War II British gear soon as well, because I've used that a lot of times now. I've used the Smelly by S&T a lot of times now, which has radically changed since it was last on video. I run the Facebook group for that gun, which has a lot of members now, so there's a lot of feedback and everything and mods that have been done. I'm going to talk about all of those in the review. It's going to be very comprehensive. I'm not impressed easily by airsoft guns, because I've worked on tons of them, I've seen tons of them, but I have also played with a lot of real ones of these guns I review in airsoft form, so I can compare it directly, and this is about as close, I think, as an airsoft gun has got to a real model. So I will see you soon. Feel free to rate, comment and subscribe. Any questions, as always, are welcome. Big shout out to Josh Sapsford, he is the man. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a great week.